welcome back to the Spoiler Cast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
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 And in today's episode, we're talking about the latest Shyamalan horror... No, wait. Not M. Night Shyamalan. It's, Ishana Shyamalan. The latest Ishana Shyamalan movie, The Watchers.
Woohoo!
Whoa! Yeah. Written and directed by Ishana Shyamalan and based on a book by A.M. Shine. Starring Dakota
Produced by M. Night, though.
M. Night Shyamalan. Daddy Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Starring Dakota Fanning and Owen Fureo. Irish something named something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to say it.
The old lady, yeah.
The old lady. Yeah. The old lady from Mandy and
all right.
The 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where she played the lady from the first movie. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true. She's also in The Northman, actually.
Oh yeah, exactly. She's the priestess.
Ashildur.
Yeah, when Fjölnir joins the other god, she's the priestess of that god.
Yeah.
Oh, the Northman. Anyway.
Anywho, we're talking about The Watchers.
Yeah, we're talking about The Watchers. It's the movie where a bunch of people are stuck in a room in the forest and creatures are watching them. That's it.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
It's really all you need to know, yeah. There's nothing more. I mean, there's a little bit more, but not really. So we'll just get into it.
Yes, but let me ask you this time.
Okay, yeah.
What did you think of it?
Well, I thought it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible, but it was like, ugh, for the most part. Like, there's like initially kind of an interesting setup, but it doesn't make sense.
No.
And the longer it goes on, the internal logic doesn't really... Like, I mean, it's not like huge logical leaps, but it's just like... You start there going, why is it this way, and why is it that way, and what is this going, what is happening? But the worst part is just that it's very poorly written.
Yeah.
The script is bad.
Oh no, I made my cat freak out.
What?
Sorry. I made my cat freak out.
Yeah. And I don't wanna shit too much. This is Ishana Shyamalan's first proper movie.
Yeah.
As a director. She's done like second unit stuff for her daddy. But
she has 6 episodes actually as full-on director.
Yeah, for 6 episodes.
For The Servant.
Yeah, well, that's another Shyamalan project.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So this has it has a little bit of that first time director stink.
Yeah.
It's very, very ambitious in certain aspects. But then
there are shots that seasoned directors probably wouldn't have done that way.
Yeah.
They look a little bit cheap or like... Yeah.
So
they imagined it looked some in another way, really, but then when everyone else sees it, it's like no, I know that's not what you meant to do. Yeah,
and there's all the tropes. There's the voiceover. Mm-hmm. There's the flashbacks. There's nothing wrong with that, but like there's unnecessary exposition, which I never thought I would see in a movie like this.
I had one specific moment that felt unnecessary, and then the cold open in general.
Oh yeah, that's not a specific problem with this movie, but it's just every horror movie nowadays. Can we stop with the cold opens? Like,
this one specifically didn't need it.
Yeah, but it was the same thing with we saw Immaculate recently. Like,
oh yeah, that's true.
It's like they need to tell us, like, just so you know, this is gonna be a horror movie. It's like, yeah. We know. We saw the trailer.
Told us.
Yeah.
The poster told us.
Yeah.
Fucking the director's name in this case, technically,
exactly.
I guess.
Yeah. And almost always directly after the cold open is like, oh, imagine if it started with this.
Yeah.
That would be cooler.
It would have built up more of a mystery. It would have made it more of a weird movie.
Yeah.
Specifically this one.
Yeah. So I am sick of the horror movie cold opens. I'm cool with it in like slashers.
Sure.
Because you gotta, you gotta have some fucking carnage in the beginning. But that's slashers, not these kind of, thoughtful,
mysterious.
Dare I say it, elevated horror, Even though now it feels like, not all, but more and more movies,
trying to be elevated?
Horror movies, they're not all, You shouldn't even use that, but you know what I mean. But we're moving away from like the popcorn scare movies, and now every horror movie is a quote unquote elevated horror movie.
I'd call them more of a drama horror, I guess, or mystery horror.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to solve why this is happening more than you're actually scared of what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's there was movies like this before, but really
Sure.
we talked about that when we talked about the waves of horror. The wave of horror that started about 10 years ago with movies like The Witch and specifically Hereditary, kind of ushering in this elevated horror wave. And now the mainstream movies are trying to copy that. They don't always succeed. And hence we have The Watchers.
Yes.
Yeah. Once again, we're shitting on it because it was pretty bad, but I don't want to be like, oh, it's fucking terrible. It was just not great.
No.
There were parts I liked about it.
Sure.
The look was pretty good, except for the obviously like fake like bokeh out of focus look when they had in the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah, everyone else was kind of out of focus
when she was walking through the streets of Galway, the city she was in, and it was on a dolly track that it was just the camera was following her, and I realized like you could only do that, and it was not long, but it was like 10 seconds, and I was like, what a nightmare to do this when you needed someone called a focus puller back in the day when you made movies. Yeah. To keep her in focus, make sure they were moving in step. But nowadays you can just do that because either you have autofocus, but that's dangerous because it can still fail, or you just fake the shallow focus look. And this had such it has such an iPhone selfie look. It was just like, ugh! It was just that shot though. But it looked awful.
There were a few shots like that.
Okay, but that was the one I noticed. When she's walking with the bird, going home.
Because that was the one where there were lots of people
around and it's light out.
Almost every other shot, in the beginning at least, when there were other people in shot, they were all slightly out of focus, which we'll get to when we get to the spoilers.
Yeah.
Because there might have been a reason for it that didn't really pull through.
Yeah. But I gotta say, though, those shots are usually, and that's when you can do stuff like that, they're locked down. Because
probably, but it still looked kind of weird.
Just focus once, and have the actors on their marks, and they will stay in focus, everything is out of focus. It's when
I feel like they added a little bit to be sure.
I'm sure
like enhance it.
Yeah, I'm sure they did, but that shot felt off just because that would be nigh impossible to do. Yeah. Before you had fake focus, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's why it was
digital enhancements.
Yeah, and it just looked like a bad cell phone shot.
Yeah. It looked like the Instagram filter where you can press the middle and it'll only focus on you.
Yeah, exactly. And also, but that's also just a thing with modern cameras. Yes. We talked about that earlier this year. Earlier, in the beginning of this season, so to speak, we talked about how they do like night shots nowadays. And we talked specifically about that in The Crow, and on Patreon we talked about Judgment Night. How when you're shooting at night back then, you didn't have HDR, you didn't have details in the darkness, so instead you went for harsh darkness, harsh shadows, and then artificial light sources, which doesn't look realistic, but it looks very cinematic.
Yeah.
Here, the cold open, everything takes place at dusk. So everything is just gray, and you can barely see anything. But there is enough detail for you to shoot with natural light, or maybe just a little bit of light, because you have HDR cameras now. And then we don't have to do a bunch of, lighting setups and shit. But it also makes the whole movie look like a milky mess.
Yeah.
It worked better later in the movie, because they had some artificial light sources. But specifically that opening and towards the end when they were running, you know,
Yeah.
in the forest.
A lot of the dark shots in the woods were just
bad.
Too dark.
Yeah, it gave me. Some people complained about that, not in the cinema version, but the home media version of Immaculate. That it was very dark, but I didn't notice that in the cinema though.
No, I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have to consider like background lighting where you're watching it, because in a cinema it's pitch black.
Yeah, that helps.
More or less. If you're watching it at home, maybe you don't close the curtains, or maybe there's a little cozy light on in the corner that ruins it.
Yeah. But we're not talking about Immaculate here.
No.
But imagine.
So what did I think of?
Sorry.
Yeah. Like 10 minutes later.
Yeah, 11 minutes. Oh yeah, what did you think of The Watchers?
It was A for effort. I liked parts of the concept, and they veered a little bit too far to a certain side.
Yeah.
Ruined it. And there were some just like facts within the movie universe that just didn't make sense.
Yeah. Didn't really add much to the plot.
No.
Or add much to the story, I suppose.
Exact story. And there were some things that was like, but wait, that feels like such a dumb loose thread. Where is that? Where is that going? How is that ending?
Yes.
One specific, which is technically, you probably forgot about it, but I nitpicked on that one. It's from the beginning. It's from the very start of the movie, really.
Which one?
Not the cold open, but like the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
The whole reason why she ends up where she is a very loose thread to me.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Oh, I just noticed our picture was off. There we go. Yeah, the way they set it up, I got the feeling like, fuck. Are we gonna go into spoilers already?
Well, no, we're not. But
Okay.
we'll get to that. But there were also like,
yeah, the felt like there was like deliberate, like setting it up
Yes.
to get her to the place where she is.
partially
in the
that, and then
but then
everyone else like being set up to get there. Because I don't know if they say this in the trailer, but this is really like, it doesn't really spoil anything. The woods that they end up in, they give us a little voiceover telling us that these are like uncharted woods that don't even show up on a map.
Yeah.
First of all, how the hell does woods of that size not show up on a map? What do you mean? Is that a hole in Ireland?
That's a kind of movie magic that doesn't really work anymore because of the internet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because, no, we have got Google
But this is
Maps.
taking place in the 2000s at least. Like, even if we don't get a set date, I mean, yeah, technically this year, I'm
today,
assuming.
Yeah. She's
But like
vaping,
they're
their
talking
smartphones,
about the 2001s and 2009s and stuff. So like, it's not like it's the fucking, I don't know, 1800s.
No. I know.
You can't say that this wood does not show up on any maps.
Yeah, and especially, Ireland isn't that big of a country.
No.
There are no, I'm sure there are parts of forests that are uncharted, but they know where all the forests are.
The forest is still there.
They made it sound like this fairy tale land, which...
Yeah, it's like Narnia.
Yeah, which I'm wondering, maybe that is more like that in the book, and maybe it's like they're in a place that doesn't really exist. Like they're almost, not specifically, maybe like they're in another world, so to speak.
Yeah, like they
like
stepped
that.
through a portal or something. Sure.
But that goes nowhere in the movie.
Yeah, if that's what they were going for, that's not where they went.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in the movie.
No. Yeah, that was a little annoying.
There were a bunch of little things that felt like they could have been more, but they weren't properly worked in.
Yeah. And the worst
part... And it's hard to talk about them.
Yeah, I know. But the worst part of this, that all had to do with the writing. Like a novel, we've talked about this, a novel, you can't really adapt a full novel in 90 minutes. This is basically 90 minutes without credits. Yeah.
You need to cut some of the details that a book can have.
Yeah, because a book is basically, if you're going to do the whole book, it's a TV show. It's 8 hours, not 2 hours.
At least.
Yeah, so you're going to have to remove some stuff. And here it felt like she wanted all the elements of the book, because she probably really liked the book.
Sure, it's probably a great book.
But it's classic, but it's real. You gotta kill your darlings. Some of the stuff you're going to have to remove.
Because it's small details, like in this case... a background detail about our main character. I don't even remember her name.
Mina, yeah.
Mina. A background detail about her. One of her two major background details, really.
Yeah.
Completely alters what or who she could be.
What do you mean?
Since they mentioned it. Because she's a twin?
Yeah, I thought they were going to do more stuff with that. Because of where the plot goes.
Considering where it ends up,
yeah,
that could have been a thing.
Yeah. But they didn't do anything with that.
But it didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they did it in the book or if it's I don't know.
I think because of all the unnecessary exposition about the Watchers, that's all I'll say. That is definitely something you can flesh out in a book.
Yes.
But here, when we're literally like 15 minutes from the end, you're going to start telling us the fantastical
Lore?
like fantasy action adventure backstory, like, but without any just a lady in the forest telling you, like, no. That doesn't lead. I mean, you kind of have to make the ending make sense, but then how about you make the ending something else then? You gotta adapt it for the screen.
Honestly, you didn't really have to have the fantastical fairy tale storytelling.
No, you didn't need all of it. Yeah, you could have cut it down, definitely. Yeah.
You could have cut it down immensely. You could have just you could have called it something else, and you wouldn't have to have that much of fantasy in it.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were something else than what they actually were, the Watchers.
Okay.
As soon as we like sort of saw them, I was like, I know what these are.
Oh.
And then they went further, and I was like, okay. I mean, technically, yes, it's still the same realm.
Yeah.
But no. No. Too much, too far.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting.
However, it's dangerously like opening the movie world to something that's been really big on book talk and book communities in general, which is fucking. No, we're not gonna say it because that spoils things.
Okay. But what? There's a trend.
We need. Huh?
There's a trend. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, there's there's a specific.
Be vague about it. Fuck it. Whatever.
Well, the creature.
Yeah.
That they end up being.
Yeah.
Is a very big creature to have in books these days.
Oh, okay.
For certain reasons that would fit into the movie or the history of the movie, the lore of the movie.
Okay. All right.
If you read books and if you're on book talk, you might have understood it, but I don't know.
So maybe, I don't know how old she is. She must be like, what, in her early 20s?
The writer?
Well,
AM or Ishana?
Ishana.
Ishana is...
It doesn't say...
I don't know.
It doesn't say, right?
Well, wait, we can Google that.
It doesn't say anything on IMDb.
No, it just says that she's born in Philadelphia.
But I know, yeah, I guess that's right.
No, she's born in 99 or 2000, according to her Wikipedia.
Yeah, so she's
20,
mid-20s.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe
she reads books.
Yeah, she's a yeah, I don't know how to explain it. She's a TikTok girl, you know.
Probably, yeah.
She's I gotta do this.
I mean, she definitely started reading books during the pandemic, and she fell down the same rabbit hole that most girls did.
Yeah.
Who wanted to relive the glory days of Twilight, but with the new cool creature.
Yeah. And this ain't your grandma's. This is cool, dark fantasy creatures. Bleh.
Yes.
Gay.
We need to start. We're 20 minutes in, I think.
We're 20 minutes in, yeah.
Almost, yeah. So let's do spoilers, because we can't really talk about this without spoilers.
No, yeah. To wrap up the general discussion, it's
a good try.
It's a like you said, A for effort.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, like, if she didn't have the daddy producing, this would never.
If she didn't have the last name, this would have gone nowhere.
You would not have Dakota Fanning starring in your first movie and have it be. I mean, I don't know exactly what the budget is, but this doesn't look cheap. Obviously, it's a small cast, small set, but it doesn't in any way doesn't look cheap.
No.
So, like, yeah.
And like we said before we watched the movie, like, we're assuming that Daddy maybe even stood beside her at points and went like, just do this instead.
Maybe, yeah.
To, like, just make sure the shot looks not cheap, basically. Is Dakota Fanning a Nepo baby?
No. She's a...
No, but her sister kind of is.
Sort
because
of,
of her.
yes. What's her name?
Elle Fanning?
Elle, yes, exactly. Elle, yeah. There's no budget on IMDb, but it's been out for like a week. Yeah. June 7th here, so like 4 days here. It's already made 7 million. That's pretty good, though. Because I'm guessing this is like a, 10 million maybe?
Yeah. It has a Metascore of 48, which it's just below the green light, so yeah, that pretty much fits it. Oh, I haven't actually looked what it is on Letterboxd.
Oh, it's 2.6, so yeah, middle of the road.
Yeah.
Which yeah, I haven't scored it yet because we were on the train talking. Yeah, that's where I would land. 2.5. It's okay.
Yeah, it has. There's one part of it that I really did enjoy, which is the whole, which you see on the poster and trailer, the whole bunker in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
They watch us, we can't see them. That is really cool.
That's the big tag, like, ooh, I want to know what goes on there. Very, very Shyamalan, And then you're like, so what's going to be the twist?
Exactly, and I really enjoyed that, and then like the mystery of the creatures and whatever the Watchers are. Are we the Watchers?
Yeah.
Are the people in the cube the Watchers? Is there another thing that's the Watchers? Very interesting. Really like that concept. Unfortunately, they went a bit too far with the fantastical aspect of it.
And then this was something we didn't really talk about. Hey, we can talk more before we start spoiling things.
Yeah, good.
Because we talked about like killing your darlings. And like wanting to fit like all your ideas for the movie in at the same time, because obviously there's supposed to be a parable between Dakota Fanning, Mina's backstory, and what's going on here.
Yes.
How all the characters kind of reflect certain parts of her personality. I mean, they even sort of look like her, some of them. The shot where her and Owen, the old lady, are running back one day after
they look exactly
forging,
the same.
They look exactly the same. Stuff like that. How one's very protective, one's a little wilder, impulsive, stuff like that. And then the fact that, they're stuck in a little box and, there's these creatures, these unseen creatures watching them. And the only movie they have in their little room is a DVD of some fake, what's it called?
Big Brother house, Love Island
what's
thing.
What's it called?
Love Island.
No, the genre. What's it called?
I don't know. Actually,
no, come on! It's the biggest thing ever. It's fuck. God damn it! It's the reality show. Thank you.
Oh, right.
It's a reality show.
Does that count as? Yeah, it does. I guess.
That's literally what a reality show is, because it's reality. I mean.
Yeah, but they're put in the house. It doesn't feel real that way.
Dokusåpa it's called in Swedish.
Okay, yeah. I'd call it more of a survival show.
Love Island?
Yeah, because they're being kicked out and shit.
What?
Like, reality show for me is more like Outsiders and stuff that we had. We see what real people are.
Yeah, but that's more of a more documentary style. That's
I guess
that's like a magazine, or we call it in Swedish magazine.
Yeah, that's true.
Either way, yeah, there was that whole thing, like people watching them for entertainment. Blah, blah, blah. But that didn't go anywhere. What was the point of that? It was just a cool reference. Or the fact that
one also felt very strange because they used slang that felt like very 2015.
Oh, really? Because I was wondering about that. If Lair of Love season 3 was a real thing, because it looked very 90s, and I think they captured
fake.
You think?
Yeah, but I mean, some of those do look very fake in general. So
yeah.
They use the word peng. Which is British for like hot, but it's something that I've heard like the Sidemen talk about in like videos from 2015 or even older.
Yeah, but it could be an old thing. I know.
Yeah, it could be.
Peng was the thing. The only way I know about Peng is from Dead Space, and I mean that game's from 2008. So
that's true.
Yeah. Anyway, there was stuff like that, or the fact, but that might be from the book. The fact that, that's not a spoiler. Mina, Dakota Fanning, has a twin sister. We mentioned that.
Yeah.
It's not really like a big reveal. She has a sister. Did you catch what her name was?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lucy?
Yeah, Lucy.
Mina and Lucy?
What? Wait, I'm supposed to know what that's from?
Dracula!
Oh, right.
It was a stupid. It's just a reference, but like, why? You
why?
should do something, because then if someone catches it, then it's like, okay, so vampires? But no, it's just the names. So
no one else's name made me think of that.
No, but I thought I was like Mina and Lucy. Come on.
I actually didn't think of it. So.
Okay.
Though the Madeline character has a certain look to her that could be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyway, like, stuff like that doesn't go anywhere. Like, it's just a silly little thing, but like, that's the shit you cut out. Otherwise, some people are gonna like, huh? Mina and Lucy? Vampires?
In the book, that is probably talked about more, how their mother was a big fan of that movie or whatever, and how that imprinted on their racing or whatever. Yeah. But that's just a side note to like tell you more about the character. In a movie, you don't need that.
No, exactly.
So you could have renamed them.
Yeah. So there was lots of those little details, and the whole thing with her story arc not really going anywhere.
Exactly. There are certain things that we are told about her that has no point to it, that could have a point to it. Or perhaps they tried to make a point of it, but it kind of fell through.
They definitely tried, especially in the end when she's like, "We're just the same." It's like, no, not really.
No.
Oh, being different and it was flimsy at best, and that's something. Like we said, we don't know what it is in the book, but you needed to be reworked to work.
I'm assuming, though, because the direction, like the visual of the movie and most parts of that wasn't too bad. No. So I'm thinking if she's directing someone else's script, it might be better.
Sure. Maybe. Yeah.
I'm not gonna like, if she ever releases another movie and it's not written by her, I'm not gonna dismiss it and go like, no, she didn't. No, I'm gonna give her a shot.
Sure. I'm nothing against that.
She does have very big shoes to fill, though.
Yeah, very big. I mean, especially.
One of my absolute favorite horror films.
Which one?
I think is one of his.
Which one?
The one with the elevator, isn't that one of his?
Oh, Devil. No, that was one of those he produced.
Right.
That's kind of what we thought, or what we think. I haven't looked that up. The trap is going to be that maybe he's, because they're saying from the world of M. Night Shyamalan, that they're kind of resurrecting his Night Chronicles project.
That's the one, Night Chronicles project.
Yeah, remember that 12 years ago when he was going to produce a bunch of like small budget horror movies from young visionaries, and they did the first one and everybody hated it and it flopped, and he was like, nope. It was 2010. So he was kind of, this was before, cinematic universes really had kicked off yet, because it was before the first Avengers movie. But he was like, franchise, I could do this. I'll produce a bunch of small movies. And then,
what the hell? Have I seen anything he's directed then? Now I'm confused.
I'm not Shyamalan. Yeah. Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, The Village, The Lady in the Water.
Right. Okay, well, then he has some really good ones.
He has some really good ones. He has some really bad ones. He has
some really bad ones as well.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. She has some big shoes to fill, because he started out, honestly, they kind of hyped him up too much, because his first movie was like Praying with Anger. That's not a horror movie. It's like a weird, like, religious drama.
Comedy drama.
Yeah, it's fine. I saw it some time ago.
I'm just reading the blurb. I'm assuming it has a lot. It's a very self
autobiographical. Yes.
Yeah, autobiographical.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because it's directed by him, written by him, stars him.
Yeah, and then because of that movie, he got a shot. Like, oh, do you have any other scripts you want to do? And he was like, I have this thing about a kid who sees ghosts, and that of course blew up.
One thing in between, it did Wide Awake.
Oh, right. But that's like a family movie. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's a boy who goes on a search for God after his grandfather dies, which could also be a little bit autobiographical.
Yes, I mean, that's similar to Praying with Anger.
He's just trying to reach a wider audience by having a white kid instead of himself. Yeah.
But then, he blew up with Sixth Sense. And I mean, I think you can even find that picture online still. There's like maybe it's Empire Magazine, I'm not sure, where it's just a big picture of him and it says, the next Spielberg. And it was his first big movie, that's really putting some pressure on him, because then it was just what was it called just a continuing like diminishing returns, even though after
Unbreakable
the fact,
is good.
Yeah, after the fact, a lot of people were like, no, wait, they're actually good. But when people saw The Sixth Sense, everybody loved it. Then they saw Unbreakable, and they were like, oh, but the twist wasn't as good, and it wasn't really scary. And then, of course...
No, because it's not a horror film in the same sense.
No, it's a drama with some scary parts in it. And then, of course, Signs, people are like, oh, now he's just doing an alien movie. It's kind of funny, though, because those two movies, especially Unbreakable, for a lot of people, have turned into like people say it's even better than Sixth Sense, which I almost agree with. Almost.
I have to rewatch The Sixth Sense, because I've only watched it like once, and that was years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like 15 plus years ago.
First time I watched it, I had nightmares for like 2 weeks. I was sure that's not even a thing in that movie, but I was sure ghosts were going to come into my room at night and kill me with an axe. That has nothing to do with the movie, but I was like, yeah,
no, exactly. It's just the
ghosts
ghost
are coming
part.
to kill me.
Just ghosts.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, he did The Visit?
Yes,
that's a
and I was
good
going to
one,
say,
though.
because then, he really kind of hit rock bottom when he did The Lady in the Water, which has a connection to this, because that is based on a, like, made-up story. He made up a story for his kids that he was telling as a, what's it called?
Bedtime story?
Bedtime story, yeah, about the lady in the water, and, like, she appears in the community pool, but you can swim through this portal to her world and stuff. And they made it into a movie, and the movie is fucking atrocious. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's awful. And then after that, of course, he was hired to do the first adaptation of Avatar, the anime, which everyone...
He did The Happening in between, luckily, but I don't
that
know
one
if The
too,
Happening
people
is that
hated
much
that
better.
one. No. I kind of...
Is
Ironically...
it The Happening with, like, the sound that makes people, like, kill themselves or
No,
something?
it's the plants who
Oh, right, the
they release a
plants.
neurotoxin because they're
Right.
they're fed up with us killing the forests.
Hey!
Yeah, thing is,
Concept?
I don't know if people are now reversing the thoughts on that. I don't think so. I've seen some people, but I like, unironically like that movie. I do think it's good, but the concept is so bad, and the movie is so weird, and Zooey Deschanel and Mark Wahlberg are so wrong in that movie. They're just terrible.
Yeah.
All the performances are terrible. I don't know what was going on with that. But then, so yeah, he was in the dumps for a while. Everyone's like, yeah, he's a fucking joke. It was the whole thing. Oh, the twist was the only thing people were thinking about.
Yeah.
But then he did a little movie called, well, first The Visit, which was like, oh, he made a smaller movie.
No, you're skipping a few movies here, actually. He did The Last Airbender, which...
That's what I mean, Avatar.
Terrible. Yeah, but the Visit is later than that.
Yeah, I know, but I mentioned Avatar. I said
Yeah,
Avatar
and then After Earth.
Oh, right, After Earth first, yes, which
was
once
also
again, awful.
Yeah.
He had the biggest movie star in the world. But
and his son.
and instead he focused on the son, who sucks, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, then he made a little movie called The
Visit.
And people are like, oh, smaller story, smaller movie, hey, it's tighter, and it's actually scary.
Has a twist.
Has a good twist.
A good twist.
Yeah. And then he followed that up with Split, and I was just like, off to the races, baby, because that movie's amazing. It's like, oh yeah, he's back. And now he's kind of, even though I didn't like Glass, I think Glass was pretty bad, but on that, he's been on a kick of doing some good movies. People hate
I never finished Old.
No, people didn't like Old, but honestly, it's not as bad as people say. It is not great. It's not like Sixth Sense or even The Visit level good. But it is not that bad. It's very much a Shyamalan movie, and if you like his style, then you're gonna like it. Even though the twist is kind of.
I'm gonna have to revisit that. I guess I just couldn't finish it.
But he's definitely had a resurgence, and like people like him again, even if he still does some duds here and there.
It's like every other movie is a good movie nowadays.
Yeah, almost. Yeah,
almost.
So.
She does have some big, and then also he has been involved in producing some very good movies.
Yeah,
because he has a knack for picking them at least.
Yeah.
Actually, that's like the only one he produced that isn't his. What the fuck?
Which?
Devil.
Oh, yeah. He was gonna produce.
I thought he had produced more movies.
No, No.
No, I keep mixing in other horror films that I think are produced by him, but aren't.
He did
Because I'm like, they kind of fit the theme. They kind of fit like the sense of it, but no.
He did some TV in between. He did Servant, and he did that something falls.
Wayward Pines.
Wayward Pines, right? Yeah, which people like those shows, but yeah. Anyway, we've been babbling on for way too long now.
Hey, we might have to look at some of his things then for the patron, but whatever.
Sure. Well, technically, we don't have a patron for this week either.
Could if we
We
wanted
could,
to.
yeah, sure. Anyway, we're gonna move into some spoilers now because we still have to discuss some story-specific stuff. So once again, yeah, fine movie. Honestly, though, if you're not really like, oh, I think that sounds really interesting, you can skip it. Like, it's not like, oh my god, you gotta go.
No. Go watch Devil instead.
Yeah, rent Devil instead. Much better movie. People shit on that movie. It's unfair.
I fucking love it.
Yeah. Anyway, from now on, though, spoilers. Spoilers. 3, 2, 1. In the end, no, actually, no. Well, but no one dies in the end.
Kind of, but not really.
Damn it! Yeah.
I don't know if it was like, go from the beginning. The first thing that fucked me up is the whole, like, why giving her, a personality where she wants to go out in a wig and be someone else? What was the point of that? Because to me, that linked up in the end to the creatures being, this is a major spoiler here, but the creatures being changelings.
Yeah, well.
Or skinwalkers, which I assumed.
Changelings, fairy or fae, they even call them. Are those the same thing? Fae and fairy?
Yes.
They are, okay.
They're different kinds, but they're in the same family.
Okay, yeah. And also calling them Watchers. So I'm guessing this is partly based on real folklore. Real folklore.
I mean, yeah, but actual folklore.
Yeah. It's not
just made up shit
for the
in
book.
general.
Yeah.
By the way, fairies and fae are the new it creature.
Yeah, I know. You've mentioned that before. Yeah.
These kinds of fairies as well that are either really beautiful, but then could be really ugly if you like mistreat them.
Sort of like it never really took off, but for a while they tried to do that with mermaids for a little while, like 10 years ago.
There's a few like TV shows that try to do it.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, the original mermaid myth was more devious, that they were trying to kill sailors, you know.
Yes.
So. Anyway, yeah. Well,
I don't get the point of her, because then I thought she is a halfling.
Yeah, she was a right, there were halflings as well, because they're like half changeling, half fairy, half human babies.
Yeah, which are these changelings then.
Yeah.
Because they can mimic humans better than the fairy can.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Fairy.
the absolutely awful connection was that what was her name? The old lady.
The Madeline.
Madeline was a halfling, so she was kind of an outcast, even though that was not really in the movie, other than they told us in the end. So she always felt like outside, and therefore wanted to be someone else.
Embrace her human side.
Exactly.
More.
Go be with humans. Maybe she would be accepted by humans, and by changing it, what she looks like, and because she felt like a freak, a monster, which Mina feels like after she feels responsible for killing her mom.
Her mother.
Yeah, even though I can see why she has survivor's guilt, but she didn't kill her mom.
Sure,
but I see.
She's too young. She was too young when it happened to really have that, though.
Well,
she probably didn't understand it.
Yeah. Well,
I wanted a detail where that accident caused her to take her sister's life or something, pretend to be her sister so she couldn't be blamed. Therefore, she's not an actual changeling, but she did what a changeling does. She steals someone else's life.
Well, she does. That's the thing. They didn't emphasize that enough. But she does change who she is. She goes out, especially around the time when she's reminded of her mom's death on the
she puts on a wig, calls herself something else, and flirts with
She
dudes.
drowns her sorrows. And also dresses up like someone else. So for at least for one day, she can be someone else.
Yeah, but the point of her having a twin was so she stole her life. No.
Yeah, there was no need to have a twin. I think that was another thing where like, ooh, we gotta have themes. There's a lot of, there's a lot of talking through windows. There's a lot of windows. There's a lot of mirrors. There's a lot of mirror images. So she needed a sister because that was the one she lost,
needed a mirror
lost contact
image.
with. Yeah, but then to make it even more mirror imagey, she's a twin. But the thing is, when you put a twin in the movie, then you immediately assume it's gonna lead somewhere.
The gun or the cat or whatever the fuck it is.
Chekhov's twin. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. You need to use the twin.
And that was super weird because she got in the beginning of the movie, it starts on the anniversary of her mom's death. So she gets a call from her sister, and the voice on the call, it's what it's called? A message.
Voice note?
Voicemail, yeah.
Voice message.
Was Dakota Fanning. So I was just like, whoa. So maybe she like ran away from her family completely, and this was something she like recorded for herself. Because she's already used two different names. Mina and
Caroline?
She said she was when she was the ballet dancer. Yeah.
Carolina the ballerina, as Colin called her.
Yeah. So now, she might actually had a sister, but she died, and she's calling something like that.
That's
they
what
didn't
I'm
explain.
thinking.
They didn't explain she had a twin. So it was just like, why is Dakota Fanning calling herself? It was just so weird.
Because the first time we see someone that we need to like assume is from her past, we see the child version of her sister running in the forest in that pink dress.
We don't know
if that's her sister or if it's her.
Yeah.
We don't know that they're twins.
Well, we don't know
exactly.
We kind of understand it's her sister, but then we can't see the resemblance because she looks different as
15
as a
years apart.
Yeah, exactly. So that was super annoying. That the twin it's just a visual gag, basically. It doesn't lead anywhere.
It has a little bit of a thing in the very end, when she's talking to her sister in her flat.
Yeah.
But then they also have that jarring difference because the sister has scars on her face from the accident where their mother died.
Yeah.
But they could have made it look like she was talking to either her own mirror again, or a changeling that had decided to look like her. But it didn't add up towards the end with that. It's like they tried to do that, but like, fuck, we didn't fill in enough blanks in the middle and in between. So
that's what I mean. Like the whole mirror image theme was just it didn't
fell flat.
It fell flat. Like, yeah, I get it because they're changeling that change into the how the people look.
Mirror image of whatever.
But it didn't lead anywhere. And it was also too obvious. Like the part when she puts her face up to the mirror and she's touching herself with the fingers and listening to that's a cool visual image. Like, okay, is she listening for the watchers, or is she just trying to like maybe actually listen to like herself, trying to understand herself?
Yeah.
Then you can draw those kind of conclusions yourself. But to have an actual twin in the end, it's like
ruined it.
That's why remember Us. The Jordan Peele movie, and there's
shadow
clones,
images of them.
It's about clones,
right? It's clones,
But the movie is full of mirror images, and most of them are shadowy. There's always someone looking through a window at night, so it's just a shadow copy of them. There's a bunch of 11s everywhere. There's never a focus on it. It's just in the background to kind of emphasize the whole mirror image theme in a visual way. But the actual twins isn't just, I have a twin. No, they're part of the plot.
Yeah, there's a reason for it.
There's a reason for it, yeah.
This twin had no reason. Then the second thing that happens also in the very beginning is, for some stupid reason, the whole reason she goes into the woods is because she's supposed to deliver this yellow macaw or whatever the fuck it was.
Some bird, yeah.
Some yellow bird.
She works in a pet store.
Yes. Yeah. And she gets a task from her manager, who we never get to see the face of.
No, they intentionally obscure his face, either filming him from behind or out of focus. Yeah, I noticed that immediately.
A lot. It's like 4 times. And he gives her this weird task to drive... He says it's a day's drive or an hour's drive or whatever.
It's the other side of Ireland, whatever.
Whatever. It's far, but it might be nice to get away.
Yeah.
With a bird in a cage. And he has given her the directions.
Yeah.
Is he a changeling? Is he part of it? Is he part of Professor Gilmore or whatever the fuck his name
that
was?
wouldn't make sense. That's what it seems like. I know. I immediately thought the same because he even says
how else would she end up there?
He even talks like, "I have a quest for you. I know it's inconvenient, especially today, but could you please do this for me?" It's like, so he helps gathering victims for this torture clan out or something before we know what it actually is about.
Yeah.
But no, that doesn't lead anywhere because he was just a guy. It was such a clumsy setup for her being there.
How what fucking zoo was she going to?
I don't know.
How the fuck did she end up in this mystical forest then?
I don't know. Yeah, what happens to everyone else who lives in Galway? What happens to all the families who go from Galway to that zoo? Do they all end up there?
Yeah, exactly. When she came back with the fucking bird, we never see him react. We never get to see him again. Did she go back to the pet store? Did she ask him?
That's also, that was also so. I was, because they,
so annoying.
They get out of the forest and she's been there at least a few months because they talk about winter came and it was getting harder to find food. So it's like, and we know that the people there before had been there 5 months, 8 months, and the old lady had been there much longer probably.
Yeah, she doesn't really say.
But we can understand it's much. Well, yeah. Well, then we know.
Well, we know.
Yeah. So she was. Let's say she was there for lowball it 1 month. She was still missing for 1 month. Comes back and there's no
still has the bird first of all, and no one reacts. She goes to her flat. There's no mail
notice,
or anything.
Yeah, there's no notice of you're evicted because you haven't paid your rent or whatever. Nothing. So then was she gone 2 days?
No, we know there was more than 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. We know
because we see nightfall more than 2 days.
Yeah.
2 times.
So it was so weird. There was no hullabaloo around their return. Okay, these were all lonely people or whatever, but still, someone will miss you.
She has a job.
She has a job.
Her job sent her to do a specific task. The zoo would have called and gone hey, where the fuck is our bird?
Yeah, and that's why it feels was this a setup? But they don't say that,
again,
so I don't think it is.
They have this little thing towards the end where it could hint at, but maybe he was part of it. But they kind of fail at that as well because they mention there could be other halflings out in the world.
But that would still not make sense. Why would they send people to the woods?
Yes, that's what I'm getting to, though. That could have been, they mention it, and it could have been an explanation, but it doesn't make sense, though, because Madeline didn't know about other halflings. Madeline didn't know about leaving the woods without, having help from a random person. She didn't even realize that she was the first one to leave. Left with... Yeah. But they still talk about how there could be other changelings out there.
Because this could have happened to some other changeling 10 years ago or whatever.
Exactly. But
it's so flimsy, it's so dumb. I know, it's terrible. That's what I mean. The script is awful when it comes to stuff like that. That's just how they could have completely removed all of that. Was this a setup? Just show his face. Had they showed his face once, no one would have thought about it.
Exactly.
It was just
because they decided to shroud him in mystery.
And
they're literally shrouding him in mystery.
Have him talk like this. I'm sorry, Mina.
All we know is that he was a pale, short ginger from Ireland. Yeah, that's all of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So dumb.
That might have been rude, but you know what I mean.
He was a little, what's his name? Fuck.
Jackson.
No,
he's
not a ginger. What's the guy who sings about Galway girls?
Oh, Ed Sheeran.
Thank you. Yeah. That was also that had nothing to do with the writing really, but it was just such a dumb detail. It's just an American made this movie because I mean it's barely a minute long, but when she's in the pub faking being the ballerina, there is there's no original version, but it was a cover. The song playing in the background was Whiskey in the Jar, which is very Irish. It's would they really play that there? I guess maybe, Irish pride and everything, sure, but still, nah.
It felt a little bit.
It was a little too on the nose. Whiskey in the jar playing in the background.
They could have just as well had Galloway Girl then.
Yeah, that would be more expensive though.
Yeah, much more.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, adding on to Mina and her having this twin concept onto her mimicking people, like actually mimicking their speech and like saying their lines, back to herself. She repeats lines.
She does? What?
Yeah, after she gets the voice message from her sister.
Oh, yeah.
And she starts driving away. She re-listens to it and starts saying it in her voice and, continuing to say it. Yeah,
I didn't know what the point was.
She does the same after the TV show. She does the same with, she does it with some of the other people in there.
Yeah.
Which is, again, something the changelings then do when they're outside, when they're trying to get in. They say things they've heard you say in your voice. Yeah. Again, hearkening on she could be a fucking changeling, I guess.
Yeah. So, but what was the point? Yeah.
Unless she ends up being a changeling, there was no point, and she didn't end up being a fucking changeling.
Exactly. So,
unless there's something they're not telling us in the movie, but then
you gotta go read the book, or they're saving that for the sequel.
Oh, fuck no.
No. The Watchers 2. Watch harder.
Yeah. And
The Watchers 2 binge watching.
I think they went a bit too far with the whole fairy lore.
Yeah, they did not have to explain.
They could have stuck with changelings and left it at that.
But that's also was
changelings or skinwalkers. Leave it and
just make it a a quote unquote made up monster. They didn't have to go the historical folklore route, because that's once again that was something that was obviously in the book. Yeah. But in the book, you can spend more time on setup and world building without it being annoying. And here it's just like, oh, we have to run really quick to the boat. We have one chance of escaping. Oh no, and the sun is setting, but we're gonna stop here for 5 fucking minutes and tell the backstory of the fairies. Oh, this is where they were imprisoned by humans. Like, oh, after a big war. Oh, now you tell us there was a war between humans and fairies? What? Weren't you running towards the boat?
At that point also, like, how the fuck do you know that?
Well, she was an historian.
Oh yeah, she was a professor of folklore and history, sure.
But that's not the problem. She could know it, that's fine. No. But why would you stop to tell that story when you literally have seconds before the monsters come? It's the open world video game problem. Like, you have to save the world, but first, could you please collect 10 coins from me? Like, no! Exactly. Stick to saving the world!
The world is ending, the dragons are attacking, but spend 3 months becoming part of the Thieves Guild so you can steal this one diamond.
Yeah, and then you go back to saving the world. Because the world can wait. The monsters, they'll wait.
The war and the monsters, they'll wait for you on the other side of that.
Yeah, that's the same thing. They were running towards the boat, and there was just like, what is this? Oh, let me tell you the tale of Face and humans. It was like, what happened to running?
Yeah. Also, I don't know if changelings and fays work that way. I feel like that was like they chose 2 cool creatures and just mashed them up.
Maybe I don't know. I've never heard a connection between fairies and
like
changelings.
Sure, fairies and fae can have like they can change form, but they usually don't change form into like other people or humans or such. But more like to animals.
Yeah. And all I know about changeling is the like the Swedish folklore version of it, where it's literally just like a troll who
switch out the babies.
Yeah, because they hate their ugly baby, so they give you the ugly baby and take your pretty baby.
Cute one.
Which is also, it's supposed to be a cautionary tale, like you need to be nice, otherwise they're gonna steal your baby, and you'll have an ugly baby as a punishment for being a bad person. Which is, oh Jesus. Yeah. That's all I know about changelings, really.
Yeah, I just know the changelings and like to me, the changelings and skinwalkers are the same thing because they can like replace you.
Yeah, yeah. For me, changeling is not someone who's a changeling is...
That's not someone who does it by choice?
No, a changeling is they switch babies with you. Changeling is specifically a baby, a troll baby.
That's true,
where they change your baby with a troll baby. Sort of like So like that, the cuckold, the actual bird, the cuck, where the cuck
Yeah.
slang comes from, the cuck who puts their eggs into other birds'
People's
baskets.
nests.
Yeah, nests. I mean, sorry.
Birds' nests.
Yeah, that kind of thing. I never saw it as someone like changing. You know, it was
No, I
the
guess
whole,
not.
it was
That's
all
more
part with
Skinwalker.
yeah, exactly. It was the whole part with exchanging babies. That's the change part. That's also the same with the movie from 1980, I think, called The Changeling with George C. Scott, where his baby is replaced. Pretty good.
That's what I was thinking about. The Hole in the Ground.
Yes.
That's a changeling, right?
No, that's a Scottish movie, but still,
No, it's Irish.
It is Irish. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because that's what a changeling is to me. If you go by the folklore thing, yeah. I was going to mention that before. Like it's, the whole thing with changelings in Ireland, very Hole in the Ground. But I think Hole in the Ground was better. Even though it wasn't great, it was much better than this. It felt more cohesive,
more grounded.
Yeah. And the this ending was awful. I think it was really bad. Yeah. I was like, oh, the monster is just like me, so it's nice, and now she's gonna fly away and be happy. And I'm gonna.
I thought it would end with the bus ride.
Yeah.
Like, why have the next part, really?
Because they wanted to set up. Because
they wanted to have a fucking fairy in it.
Yes, I think that was it. Like, oh, we want to have like the fairies invading, our world,
humanity.
Even though that is. And what it does is it ties up with her, the whole thing, her speech in the end. Like, I understand you, lady, changing lady, because I also feel like a monster. Like, there's a bad half part of me,
Yeah.
But it's not. You're actually a nice person.
Which part is the bad part of the halfling?
That doesn't matter. Just one of them. Because
is it the human or the fae?
Because the fairies would consider her human half to be the ugly one, and humans would consider her fairy half to be the ugly one. That's beside the point. The point is that you see yourself as a monster because of something you can't really control. So that's her growing and understanding. It wasn't that's her letting go of her guilt for thinking she killed her mom.
Killing her mother. Causing the accident.
Yeah, which is just... I understood that's where it was going, but I thought getting out of the forest was her...
Was that?
Yeah, putting the past behind her. And while the other people in the coop, the room where they're stuck, they felt like parts of her personality. I thought she was gonna...
She left the anger behind in the woods because Daniel died.
Yeah, but then there was only one person who died, so it's like, oh okay, so that didn't happen. And then they were just people.
But that could have been her accepting to be this gentle one, and it's also she accepted Madeline being like the secretive, assertive one. I don't know what she was.
No, that's what I mean. The concept didn't work.
They didn't flesh
it out. Yeah, so then it was all these half-baked ideas
mashed up into one. And if you picked one of them and just fully fleshed it out, it would have worked much better.
And then they ended with a fucking like Marvel Avengers ending where they have a fight with fairies, and now they're going to invade our country. But because she talked to the one, maybe they won't be angry and they will try to live in harmony with us like we did before in the ancient war. Before the ancient war, it's like what?
The Gilded Age.
Yeah. What the? It became a fantasy novel towards the end. When I thought it was going to be like a scary, like human drama story with fantastical elements in it before that. Dumb.
I also didn't really understand why the fairy, the Madeline halfling, actually had wings. That felt like something a halfling couldn't have.
I think, honestly, yeah. That was also where the internal logic didn't work, because fairies had wings, halflings didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm thinking, this is what I think their idea of that was. It was like, that's her accepting both her human and fairy side so that she can grow wings. I know. So gay?
No, not gay, but dumb.
Gay in a dumb way, not homosexual. Gay in a...
Yes.
way. There's a big difference. Very big difference.
Very big
There's nothing gay about being homosexual.
Like I said, like we've said now 10 times, bunch of things that don't make sense in this movie.
Yeah.
Bunch of half-baked ideas that could have been good ideas if you just picked one and stuck to it.
Yeah.
Hell, you could have made 4 movies out of this if you just picked one concept for each movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wish they'd stuck with the fucking cube in the woods box concept and just stuck with that and did not involve fucking fairies and shit.
Yeah.
Because mirror images and that would have been enough to do like a cool thing.
Yeah, but the whole concept behind the box was that this professor could like study them.
Yeah, but then he went crazy after almost a year.
Yeah,
and realized, this is scary. I don't want to do this anymore.
Because he wanted to have one of them turn into his wife.
No, he thought he could like harness the power somehow.
Yeah, that's also like that didn't really make sense either. Yeah, they can.
Like, is he gonna steal samples from them to like?
That's still not gonna bring back your wife. That's just you can just make one of them
then he can clone her.
But that's not bringing back your wife.
No,
that's
I know.
making a clone of your wife. They're not gonna He was talking about like we can
resurrect people.
No, and like we could have eternal life. Like no.
No,
what does that have to do
you can
with
make
it?
copies.
Copies. The copy's not the same thing.
No.
Have you seen what's it called? Multiplicity. You know, when you make a copy of a copy, it gets it gets faded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also sounds like what?
Again, another logic that didn't really make sense and add up.
What the fuck is it? Or is it like, well, fairies are immortal, so I can use that to like what?
Going by the fairy lore that I know from the books I've read, they have much longer lifespan, obviously. And they have like healing powers and shit.
Okay.
But they can't live forever.
And
they still die, but they live for like thousands of years.
Yeah, but what is then the point of having the changeling part of the fairy lore? How about you
I don't know.
No, because that was that's the thing. There's so many.
That was the part that was interesting and scary, but then they threw in the fairy part to like, because that's what they wanted to write about, but they couldn't make it scary, so they're like, fuck it, let's make them change into humans.
But the fairies were using this coupe, as they call it, the room with the mirror and the window, the two-way mirror.
Yeah. The box.
Yeah, the box. To watch humans so they could kind of study them and become more human so they could escape, even though they can't because only halflings can walk in daylight. So that makes no sense. But also, they're not the ones who built the box to study people. That was a human who did it to study them.
But they Uno reversed it on him and like, haha, we're gonna use it to study you instead.
But what was the point of the box then for his research?
I don't know, because he thought they would, like, he wanted to see them see him in the beginning. He wanted to let them see him, which is why, in the beginning he could, but he got scared because it was uncanny to watch these morphed, weird versions of himself. They couldn't get it right. They always, like, everything seemed a little bit lopsided,
sure.
too many fingers or whatever the fuck he said.
But then, what's the point of having them being able to look at him? What's the point?
Because he was curious to see how it worked, how they managed to mimic and change into humans. He wanted to study them to understand how their biology worked, so he could harness it and then turn it into immortality somehow.
You know how you actually do that? That's the way we do with all animals. You capture one, kill it, and dissect it. Yeah. You don't.
Which is what I thought he would do when he did eventually capture one.
Yeah.
But no, instead he showed it a picture of his wife and made it turn into her.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
He went crazy, I guess. I don't know.
So dumb. You know what?
And second of all, he shut himself in this box and this little underground vault lair thing.
Yeah. And then he fed the workers to the watchers.
He could never leave.
Yeah.
Eventually.
He said the boat was not meant for me. Even though he had an escape.
But like, he would obviously not really be able to do that. It was pure luck that they managed to do it. Like,
yeah, but he
how was he planning on eventually getting out of there with his changeling wife, or copy wife, or whatever?
It was the boat, but at some point he was disgusted with what he had done.
Yeah, I guess.
Like he says, like the sacrifices we do for science or whatever, for knowledge. So that's what it says. The boat was never meant for me. I had to stay here because he sacrificed all the people. He got like basically day laborers,
Yeah.
Mexicans, Irish Mexicans, which are just single guys in Ireland, I suppose, to build the whole thing for him, and then he let
them
the
to the
Watchers
monsters.
eat them, or whatever they do with them. We don't ever
Kill
see them.
them.
Yeah, kill them. Why do they kill them? Kill them so
They're
they
scared
can
of them?
kill them so they
Because
can.
they're angry with humans because humans shut them in the
right,
ground.
right. Okay, sure. Fair enough for that. But
Because apparently fairies hold a grudge for thousands of years.
yeah,
And again, but then we need to get back to that as well, because they shut the fairies in the ground.
yeah.
But the things that come out of the ground at night, the Watchers, they're not fairies, because fairies can walk in sunlight. They're halflings. What the fuck are they?
Well, I guess it's like Pandorum. You know, it's humans who they've been underground for too long, so
now they can't
mutated.
stand the sunlight.
No,
They kind of mutated.
Fairies can't stand the sunlight. That's what they say.
No, but in the golden age where humans and fairies lived alongside each other, they married.
Oh.
They lived together.
So all those down there are halflings?
But halflings can walk in sunlight because they're half human. So what the fuck were they?
No, but that's what I mean. They were fairies that lived under there, and they procreated under there, and for generations they eventually turned into like cave dwellers. Just like in the humans on the spaceship in Pandorum.
Yeah.
Remember that one? With Ben Foster? Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Pandorum, I suppose.
Or oh no, the one with the spelunking
Descent.
ladies.
Yeah, spoilers for the Descent. It's the same plot, but in Ireland.
In a cave. No, it's America, right?
Nope. Yeah.
Oh, it's Ireland.
No.
No, the Descent's America.
But there's only one American girl. Do they all come to America with her?
I think so.
Because all the other ones talk like this. Doesn't she come to Ireland? Or England, maybe it is? Whatever. I just thought, ooh, creepy dungeon.
Actually, it doesn't say in the plot.
Okay.
They're just in a fucking cave.
Okay. Either way.
Yeah. It kind of doesn't make sense. I guess it could make sense, but at the same time, fairies are known to live for centuries. So the ones that were shut in the ground could still technically be alive.
Be the original, yeah.
Yeah. But then they would have wings. They would be able to walk in sunlight.
I don't know.
Madeline, being a halfling, must have been born centuries ago because they were shut down in the ground. And she must have been born, well, or at least her mother, I'm assuming being the fairy then, was pregnant with her while being shut down in the ground. Because she was born with them, but she's half human. Humans have not procreated with fairies since the Golden Age, whenever the fuck that took place. Yeah. See how it doesn't really add up?
I know it doesn't add up.
And it's annoying.
Yeah, I know.
Because now I'm like finding more plot holes that just doesn't...
This is what annoyed me too. It's just I couldn't talk, and I didn't have a fully formed idea of exactly what it was that annoyed me. But yeah, it was all these things. Now talking about it, now I hate the movie.
Yeah, I'm lowering my score.
Now it sucks. Now it's like
I still like the box, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I like the whole concept of them watching us, but we don't know who's watching us.
Yeah.
And I still want to know how they ended up in that fucking forest. That's like the biggest part of this entire thing. Who and how did they end up in this magical forest? Did Madeline lure them there somehow?
Madeline went there herself because she was going after her husband. Kira.
No, Madeline didn't go after her husband. She was already dead. She fell in love, sort of. I guess.
She was a changeling. She wasn't human. She was a changeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we know.
She got coerced into staying there.
Yeah. Kira and John. They were just hiking. And, they entered that part of the woods. Same thing.
And accidentally stepped through the portal.
And same thing with Danny. Same, that doesn't really matter. People are walking around the woods all the time. People disappear in woods all the time.
That's true.
That's fine. That doesn't really matter. I don't think so, at least.
But then giving Mina that whole reason why she was out on the road, it would have been better than to have her run away as well from her problems.
Yeah, yes.
Instead of giving her a burden and a purpose.
I know.
The burden and purpose destroyed it.
That I can agree with. Like, because she was already running away from something, so she could have just like they should have made her more. They should have spent some more time building up her character instead of just like having her talk to the bird like, yeah, my mom's dead. I blame myself. That's why I drink and put on a wig.
That's
like, shut up! Don't talk to the bird.
That was double exposure that ruined it for me. Because she mentions it to the bird.
Yeah.
Which is stupid, first of all.
Yeah.
Then, literally 5 minutes later, we get the same exposition over the phone message.
Yeah.
From her sister. Like, we just got told this. And then again, about 40 minutes later, when she tells Daniel about it through the door.
Yeah, and I know. And it's also...
I could accept one of them in the beginning and then the one with Daniel, but not two in the beginning.
It's also a terrible case of tell, don't show. Because she literally just says, this is my backstory, why I'm sad.
Yeah.
Show us.
It would have been better to just have it... Honestly, I would have accepted tell, don't show with the voice message.
That part, but since we do know...
talk to the bird.
Don't talk to the bird. Don't do that. And also, we do understand, like, she goes out drinking, having casual relations with the strange men, obviously to kind of, at least for the day when she thinks about it the most, to forget, to run away from her guilt. Why don't just make her like a mess? Have her be an alcoholic. Obviously, she's didn't I tell you before you can't smoke in the pet store? More that, and she shows up late. You stink of booze, Mina. What are you doing?
And have this
sell
one day
it
be the
harder.
Day, have this day be the day where she goes too far. She shows up drunk, and he goes, "No, you need to leave," and then she runs away.
Just, fuck you! I don't need a job anyway. And just drives that way, and ends up in the woods where she now has to face her fears.
Because the fucking canary didn't do anything.
I know, the bird.
Because
it had wings.
The canary was supposed to be the canary, so he would show them the way in the end.
But they already had birds. She said, follow the birds.
Exactly. Follow the bird. He didn't know which fucking way to go. He didn't live there. Fucking Darwin was a caged bird. Yeah. The crows knew how to leave and when to leave because they were used to the changelings. Yeah. They lived with them. They know that, at this point we have to go that way, otherwise they probably gonna eat us.
A movie that does this better, and that's not even what the movie is about really, but it has that like subplot, like letting go of your guilt, a kind of arc for the main character. The Evil Dead remake, where she's a heroin addict because she blames herself for not really for killing her mom, but not being there when her mom died.
Yes.
So she's running from her guilt, running from her problems by doing drugs to the point where she is OD'd. So now they're going to take her out into the woods, and she's going to have to...
Cold turkey her,
and she's going to have to face her demons, figuratively, but then she literally has to face her demons. A demon that looks like an evil version of herself in the end. Like... Whoa! And that movie isn't really about that. That movie is just about, hey, let's have some fucking gore out in the woods.
Yeah.
But they managed to work in that plot pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
And when, she starts talking about, like, there's something in the woods, they're like, no, you're just jonesing. Like, no.
Yeah.
Or you're seeing things because you're sober for once and have to think about what you did. No.
Yeah.
But is it, though? I don't know.
Is it both?
That's how you do that kind of plot.
Yes.
And what's funny? Sure, that movie's based on another movie, but that's not in the original movie at all.
No.
And Fede Alvarez, sure, he's a little bit older when he was a little bit older when he made that movie. But that was his first feature-length movie. I think it was his first script as well. So, Ishana, I'm sorry. The more we talk about this, you are not a good director or writer.
I'm director. Still mainly gonna blame it on the writing.
Hold on,
because I think the directing would have been fine if it had a better script.
Yeah, I gotta double check now, so he actually didn't make movies before. Director previous. No, he made shorts before.
He didn't write anything else before?
Writer. He wrote his shorts. That was it.
This is...
And then Sam Raimi saw the shorts and he was like, you're gonna make my Evil Dead remake. He made the Evil Dead remake. Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Then he did Don't Breathe. Really good. Ew, I didn't know this.
Huh?
He has the not written by, but story by credit on the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Ew. Now I don't like him.
Maybe he just told him, like, oh, we should do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
But do it about, like, woke teenagers.
I don't think he said that even. They're like, we're adding woke teenagers. He's like, no, that's ruining my concept.
Oh, and his writing partner was involved as well. Rodos Sayagas, I think it's how you say it.
Gosh.
Yeah, they both have the story by... Oh, sorry.
We're gonna wrap this episode up.
We're gonna wrap it up here, yeah.
Because, yeah, the more we talk about it, there a bunch of different concepts that most of them could have worked in separate movies.
Yeah. But since you're cramming it all in here into 90 minutes, it's a mess.
It's like you couldn't decide if you wanted to make a drama, horror, or fantasy movie. So you just threw it all into one and shook about the fucking bag and picked out words at random.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still standing by. I think she could have done a good directing job if she's directing someone else's story.
Maybe, yeah.
Or at least a completely different, more well-written story. She could still have a hand in it. I don't know.
We'll see. This, like I said, this got okay. I didn't even read any reviews, but fuck it at this point. But it has like decent Metacritic. It's a 48.
Mid.
Yeah, it's mid.
Just below mid.
And if it brings in money, I'm sure, and if she wants to make more movies, I'm sure she's going to get the opportunity to do so.
Yes.
So we'll see in the future if it's just her writing that is poor, you know. Yeah. But anyway, that's going to have to be it. Just want to say a quick sorry for the schedule recently. We had some problems with the last episode, came out a little late. We also haven't. This is going to be the second week where we don't release a patron exclusive episode. Sorry about that. Just things.
The patrons will get this one early.
Yes, that's one little,
or a little bit of a
band-aid. You're going to get this one early.
We will probably do a companion piece for this, though.
Okay.
We should.
Okay, yeah. So if you're listening or watching this on YouTube, you could have seen this pretty, many days in advance on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene, where we usually release a companion episode every week, and we will in the future.
Yes. Unfortunately, we're also building up towards our summer vacation, which is going to be a total hiatus.
Our season ending, so to speak, which we do in the winter, summer and winter. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's another thing. For now, though,
we'll do official posts on that.
Yes. For now, though, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click like, click subscribe, or follow, heart, whatever it's called on the other platforms.
Share, comment, and all that stuff for the what's it called for the
algorithm.
Whatever. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Check out the socials. Check out the Patreon.
Yeah, and we'll be back
see you
next
when we
week.
see you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we haven't fully planned it, but I think this might be the last episode before the hiatus.
It might be. Hey, maybe we'll just record a summer greeting bye-bye thing.
And of course, we're doing a summer episode. We always do one summer episode.
There will be a summer special.
And I think we have it more or less decided. It's gonna be a big Star Wars extravaganza where we're gonna review and analyze all 9 movies of the Skywalker saga.
We might even talk about some of the shows that have been released recently.
Anyway.
God damn it. Anywho.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Spoiler Cast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias and Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Mom, Dad, Christopher Belén, Danny Del Gaiso, Mac and Mom, Laura Kinney, CK85.